TV.
Tessie Taylor, President, National Association of Recording Industry Professionals. Hello, Tessie.
Hi, Artak.
How are you?
Very good, thank you. Your English is much better than my Armenian.
Very good. Soon you start to speaking Armenian too.
Hopefully, yes.
Tessie, I just introduced our viewers who you are, and before we start to talk about association, I want you to introduce yourself to our viewers, how you start your career, and a little bit about your past.
Okay.
How you involved to the entertainment business, especially music business.
Okay, very good. Well, I started as a classical pianist, and I still play a little bit, but I decided, after attending the University of Vienna in Austria and getting my degree, that I would rather work in the business than perform for a living. I love to perform, but I don't want to have to earn money performing. I would rather be on the business side. So that's exactly what I did. And I got my first job in radio, actually, when I was living in Vienna and a university student.
I'm sorry, what's your real background? Like European?
My mother's Austrian and my father's American.
Okay.
So I'm half and half, but I won't tell you which half. And so I got to live and study in Europe a lot, which was really, really wonderful, especially for music, because so much wonderful music comes from Austria.
Classical.
Classical, as we know. So that was my background. I decided to get into the business right out of college, which is exactly what I did. I got a job at the largest concert promoter in Southern California at the time. They were Avalon Attractions, and that was a lot of fun. I was going to many, many concerts of the biggest acts at the time, Aerosmith, U2, tiny little acts, developing acts. It was a lot of fun, and I was meeting many, many people in the business, because when you put on a concert, every spoke of the music industry wheel comes together. When you produce a concert, you have the concert promoter, you have the artist manager, you have the record company, you have radio, you have TV, you have the press, you have everybody, and they all want tickets when you're the promoter. It's great. So even though I was a little guy, you know, it was my first job at this company, it was a fantastic experience and a lot of fun and an opportunity to meet tons and tons of really good people. But what I thought would be better for me was if I could develop professional relationships with these people. So I talked to them on the phone every day. How about if we meet? You know, now that we've met, you know, our relationship has gone to a new level, and this is what professional networking and relationship building is all about. So I looked for an organization to join, and there wasn't one, so I started one. I didn't think it would become what it is today, but I just phoned up some people and said, hi, we're going to meet at such and such restaurant, club next week, come on down. So at our first meeting, there might have been 3 people, maybe 4. But then we did it again, and people wanted to know, well, when's the next one? When's the next one? Today, many years later, I reach over 85,000 people.
Wow, a member of association?
Well, not all members. I mean, if they were paying members, that would be great, but member subscribers.
85,000 network connection in entertainment business?
Yes.
That's
well, now, keep in mind that people who subscribe are not necessarily all in the business. Some of them merely have an interest in it. But we have a huge and very strong membership base and a network of people who work in the business. And that's what makes running this organization so much fun. We're growing, we're establishing new chapters. We're based here in Los Angeles, which is the entertainment capital of the world.
exactly.
And we have chapters in New York. Let me see if I can remember them all. San Francisco, Las Vegas, Phoenix, Houston, Philadelphia, London, and we're launching a few more chapters this year, and we're looking to set up chapters in Europe and around the world wherever people have an interest in doing this.
Some kind of looks like a SAG member, like union.
Yes,
like
very much like that. We're not a union, but we're very much like that. We advocate for our members, and we promote career advancement, goodwill, and education among record industry professionals. So someone like you, we would want to make sure that we introduce you to people who can help you to promote your television show, to get you special guests, There are other people whom I know, we spoke about this right before we went on the air, that I would love to introduce you to some people who you should have as guests here too.
Yes, and how they can enjoy your association member, and who there have to be, producer, composer, or singers, young artists? How this work?
Well, for the most part, we like people to be working in the business. But the truth is that if you're an artist today, you are a business, or you should be a business. You are probably doing a lot of your own marketing. If you're not very successful yet, you're probably you're having to manage your own career because you don't have a manager yet. So we welcome people who have an interest in being professional in the business, and people can find out more about that at www.narup.com.
We just put your website over there.
Excellent. And people can ask for information or read about us online. We're very interested in reaching different parts of the world. This is why I love Griff O'Neill so much.
He's amazing, man.
Who introduced us, because he reaches so many corners of the world.
Yeah, we just meet so many times, but not realize we can come together and do something.
Right. And I think that, art is one of the greatest inventions of mankind because it brings people together. You find out that art can, it can narrow the gaps between people.
Between cultures too.
Between cultures. Everybody wants to work hard and be recognized. It doesn't matter if you're Armenian or American or Chinese or Muslim or Catholic or Jewish. It doesn't matter. People want to have opportunity and to have a form of expression like music, which to me is the most wonderful invention of mankind. It enables people to give expression to their ideas, and it enables us to relate to each other, even if we may not speak the same language, because music is a language. And I think it's a very important cultural phenomenon, and it's very important to bring Armenian music here to the U.S., and it's equally important, I think, to take U.S. music to Armenia and have people share.
In the future, by the way, after 2-3 weeks, we're waiting some young violin player from Ireland.
Okay.
She said to come here, and we're inviting Armenian musician. And live, we're trying to make some how they can cooperate.
That's fabulous.
Different nationality and different instruments.
That's
fabulous.
See how it
to work.
That's fabulous. That kind of collaboration is excellent. It's excellent.
And still, we didn't finish the about how they can enjoy your become a member.
Well, people can look at the website now. If you're talking about people who live in Armenia right now, there's not a whole lot we could do for them in Armenia, obviously, because we have no presence there. But for people who are interested in coming to Los Angeles or New York and to other areas where we have chapters, we can introduce them to professionals.
We have a large community in
exactly.
Europe.
We have a growing community in Europe. I'm going to be in Europe later this year. I will be in Sweden and Austria and in England.
The same television station we have in France.
Wow.
Yeah, so
excellent.
For all West European
excellent.
Armenian community.
So people can contact us, but mostly what we do is we put people in touch with other people. We help them to develop their careers. If they're looking for a manager, that's a little bit hard because an artist has to have a level of success before usually a manager is interested. But what I would like you to come to is a brunch that we're having in a week from Saturday, a week from tomorrow, on April 17th here in Los Angeles. We have these once a month, and we have tons of music business professionals come every month. At our last brunch, an artist met a manager who signed them.
Wow.
So now this group has a manager, a very good manager actually.
What do you think, like you professional, what's your advice for first young artists? They need a first agent or they need a manager?
They need
how they can start?
They have to be absolutely brilliant, okay? They have to focus more on their craft and their songs and their performance than on getting an agent and a manager, because if they're good enough, and that means really exceptional, the manager and the agent will find them.
Maybe they have a really good talent, but they don't know how they start. Which music better for them? Pop, rock, or
well, I think
which more direction? How
the first thing about being an artist is to find your own direction, and you can certainly get help from professionals, people like Griff O'Neill, who can say, "Look, you've got a great voice for pop, but I would stay away from this other genre. Yes. You know, you don't want to be the gravelly rock girl or boy. You're more pop." But a great artist can transcend those boundaries. I think the most important thing is for an artist to find his own voice. The world does not need any more bad music. Okay, there's plenty of that. Create something truly exceptional that takes time, that takes effort. And if you're interested in just being famous and getting invited to lots of parties and making a ton of money, there's easier ways to do that than in the music business. You know, go to law school or do something else that has a very specific track you can follow. To get rich and famous in the pop music world or in music in general, it's not impossible, but it's very difficult, and you have to have a unique voice. You have to have something that people want to hear. You have to say something that people want to hear, not, oh, baby, baby, I love you, I love you. It's not, that's boring. Yes. Do we need another one of those kinds of songs? No, so the artist should find his voice. Now, what we can do is we can help introduce artists to different people who specialize in artist development.
They have to be a member of association?
No, they don't. But
They don't.
if they want us to make personal introductions, they do. But they can come to our events. They don't have to be a member. I mean, we really want to help people, and what we do is we make those professional connections possible. And so an artist who's maybe trying to find his way can create these professional relationships with people who can help to guide him. You know, there's people who you can either hire, or maybe because they like your material and you become friendly with them, they'll give you some free advice and take you with them to meetings or parties or whatever. And when you're in Los Angeles, the guy you're sitting next to at the restaurant could be someone who could have a huge impact on your career.
What do you think about competition? How does important artists be in a competition? For this point, it's like a World Championships of Performing Arts. I know you've been there like judge, and what you see there and what usually artists can get from participating in World Championships.
In any field, whether you're a computer technician or an artist or a plumber, you have to set yourself apart if you want people to hire you or to buy your music or to help you make a living. Okay, so competition, I think, is good if you can get the attention of the judges. If they like what you're doing, even if you don't win, you can very frequently make good connections with people. Think about how wonderful it is to know Griff O'Neill.
Oh, that's amazing.
Okay.
Griff O'Neill, more than 50
Griff
countries
O'Neill
connection.
And the World Championships of Performing Arts is a wonderful man to know, because in his little black book of names and addresses, he knows every agent, theatrical, film, music you can think of. And he's the kind of guy who can listen to the material and say, look, you're not quite ready for the big time yet, but I suggest that you talk to this guy over here.
Exactly, that's what he's doing.
And that is what we do too, but we're very focused on music.
Yes.
You know, Griff has a broader focus, but it's very, very good. So I think to compete is good, as long as the young people don't get upset if they lose.
That's the whole point. I'm trying to bring this up because we have so many Armenians that are coming to participate in World Championships of Performing Arts, they present their talent, and they meet our judges and represent our countries. But same time, when they lose from first round, second, or they're thinking when they're being competition, they're signing a contract.
No.
All these dreams. What your advice? That's contract that's more important, or better you make a more connection there?
It's important to make connections, and it's important to, this is part of finding your voice. You'll get feedback from people. Some feedback is not very good, and some feedback you can say, yeah, that has some basis in reality.
They can have some kind of experience and see what they're doing, and then go train again.
There are people who can help to create an excellent stage performance. For example, if you have wonderful material but you're really boring on stage, it doesn't work. You have to be an entertainer if that's what you want to be. You can't just stand there. I mean, that doesn't hold people's attention. Okay? So it's about finding your voice and being authentic and connecting with people like you, Artak, who can help to provide a platform.
That's the Hollywood 101 TV show, all about that. This help the young artists how they start their career, and bring managers, composers, their advice. Do you have any connection for good vocal coaches?
Absolutely. Are you trying to find good vocal coaches?
We are trying, because we have some people, they're looking for vocal coaches. I spoke with them like 2 weeks ago.
Yes.
And if they contact straight to you, or go to website.
Please have them email me and just say they were referred by Artak.
Okay.
Say Artak sent me. There's a couple of wonderful people in town. There's Jan Linder Koda, who's a producer and a songwriter. There's Stephen Memel. There's a few really good vocal coaches, and they're wonderful. But it's important as an artist to continue to improve. You're never going to be perfect, probably. You always have to work on your craft. Go through Artak, and I'll help anyone I can who you send.
Thank you so much. And my other question, I see here. Before my other question, I have a question.
Before your question, you have a question.
Exactly. Where you cut your hair?
Probably at the Hollywood studio next, right?
Okay, we have a gift certificate.
Thank you.
$25 gift certificate from our general sponsor, Hollywood Hair Studio, which in Hollywood Boulevard, 5300 Hollywood Boulevard. So
that's fabulous. I'm going there because I do need a haircut. Thank you very much.
Not only haircut, maybe whatever you need.
Thank you.
And how many years already the association you created?
NARUP, the National Association of Record Industry Professionals, was formed in 1998. So we're 12 years old now.
12 years old. And what's make you the create? Just only for keep a connection, or how you come to the idea?
Well,
we talk about that, I know, but I want we go a little
sure.
more details.
Well, it happened very naturally and very organically. I didn't think, oh, I'm going to start a business and it's going to do this. It happened because I was just doing something that I enjoyed. I was doing something that was necessary for my career. I was trying to figure out how to meet people, and it worked really well. And then I started to sell memberships, and now I have a business.
Yeah, business and same job, job whatever you want to do.
Well, I love it. It's the best of all possible worlds, and I think this is what people need to know, that living in the world today, you have the possibility to actually make a living doing something that you love. If you have focus and you're persistent and you create realistic goals for yourself, you can make a living in the United States as a singer, songwriter, performer. It may not be easy, but you can do it if you really apply yourself. Now, I don't know what the economic situation is in Armenia for artists. I know in South America it's very difficult because of all the piracy. Each region has its own challenges, and we are affected very much by piracy here too in the United States. But you can do it. You can do it, and it requires focus, a lot of talent and ambition.
So, like a professional, what do you think? For artists, this first they have to find a songwriter, or they have to find an agent, and was a different agent and manager?
Well, first I would.
I know a lot of people know that. I
will explain it all to you. First, you have to think about whether you're going to perform and write your own material or not. Now, in the Western world, the guy who writes the songs has a lot of power. Money is in publishing, okay? And the money is in songwriting. Now, if you're just a performer, then you're at the mercy of songwriters to provide you with good material. So I recommend to people that they try to write their own material, and maybe they're not absolutely great, but they can improve and they can collaborate with other songwriters who are better. So I recommend to any artist who is trying to make his way in performance in music to give a shot at writing his own material. Okay, that's number one. Now, number two, the difference between the agent and the manager is the agent is the person who goes out and gets you gigs. They get you performance opportunities. That's specifically what agents do. They get you, if you're in film, they get you roles in a movie, okay? They try to they solicit to get you business, to get you performance opportunities. The manager is a guy who has a much broader role. He's looking at the long-term strategy of your career and saying, okay, in 5 years we're going to be trying to do this, but right now the marketing plan is this. Okay, we're trying to build your career up one level at a time. We're going to start, say, in Los Angeles or in the Midwest or in Armenia, and we're going to tour 14 little places within a 40-mile radius. And then next summer, we're going to hit Europe, and we're going to hit 40 towns.
Just making plans for step
making
by step.
plans. A manager is a guy who helps to make and execute the plans. Now, the manager and the agent work well together, or they should work well together. And frequently, a manager can, in part, fill the role of the agent, although when an artist's career is big enough, it usually requires both the manager and the agent.
And what's the estimating the price for publish any CD, any artist? What's the minimum budget artist need or manager for make a publishing?
For an artist to make a CD?
Yes.
Well, if you want to produce a high quality, let's say a 10-track CD, it can be a very small price. I mean, you can do that for next to nothing because there's so many people with pretty professional recording studio.
For publishing, not only for record. I have a record, like say,
okay,
I have 10 songs, and I want to publish. I want people to know about this
well,
CD, how this works.
You go and you get a publisher, all right? But again, that's not so easy because a publisher has to say, Artak, I love your music. Can I sign you? Okay?
Okay.
You don't just send your music to someone and they publish you. They have to think and believe that they can take your music to the marketplace and sell it and make money. And if they're not sure that they can do that, they're not interested.
So you need a publishing company, but if you want to do yourself, you produce and
You can
publish?
self-publish. You can self-publish. Now, there are lots of books on the topic that can be helpful to people, and it depends on whether they're in Armenia or America or Europe, because I don't know exactly what the copyright laws are in Armenia. But here in the United States, you can self-publish. You can file copyrights yourself with the,
I done that, and I'm sure we have to say bye now.
Oh no!
Yeah, just you can say bye.
Thank you very much for tuning in, and if you have any questions or need information, please check our website at www.narup.com. Thank you so much for having me, and I hope to see you at some of our upcoming events.
Sure.
Okay?
No problem.
You can't stop an avalanche as it races down the hill. You can try to stop the seasons, girl, but you know you never will. And you could try to stop my dancing feet, but I just cannot stand still. 'Cause the world keeps spinning.
can't stop my happiness, 'cause I like the way I am. And you just can't stop my knife and fork when I see a Christmas ham. So if you don't like the way I look, well, I just don't give a damn. 'Cause the world keeps spinning round and round, and my heart's keeping time to the speed of sound. I was lost till I heard the drums, till I found my way. 'Cause you can't stop the beat. Ever since this old world began, a woman found that if she shook it, she could shake up a man. And so I'm gonna shake and shimmy it the best that I can today. 'Cause you can't stop the motion of the ocean or the sun in the sky. You can wonder if you wanna, but I never ask why. And if you try to pull me down, I'm gonna spit in your eye and say that you can't stop the beat.
You can't stop an avalanche as it races down the hill. You can try to stop the seasons, girl, but you know you never will. And you could try to stop my dancing feet, but I just cannot stand still. 'Cause the world keeps spinning round and round, my heart's keeping time to the speed of sound. I was lost till I heard the drums, and I found my way. 'Cause you can't stop the beat. Ever since this whole world began, a woman found out if she shook it, she could shake up a man. So I'm gonna shake and shimmy it the best that I can today. 'Cause you can't stop the motion of the ocean or the sun in the sky. You could wonder if you wanna, but I never ask why. And if you try to hold me down, I'm gonna spit in your eye and say that you can't stop the beat. Ever since we first saw the sun, no better woman like to shake it when the day is through. So we wanna shake and shimmy it and have some fun. But today, you can't stop the
Hollywood 101 TV.
Hi, Rafi.
How are we doing?
Yeah, Robert, how are you?
Fine.
How are you feeling?
Great, great. Thank you for inviting me to your show.
Thank you for accepting my invitation. Rafi, before we talk right now, what you're doing, what your position, what your job, what your business, how you helping the young artists, let's talk a little bit about your background.
Sure.
How you start your career in show business, and what make you become a manager?
Well, interesting scenario that took place. I have properties in Hollywood, and I ended up meeting an agent from Dunn Buchwald agency, Michael Greenwald, and he said, "You have a great tenacity and a great personality. Have you ever thought about working with actors and models in having them make money, save money, and invest it properly?" And I said, "Never thought about it." And this gentleman is the one that got me.
How many years ago that was?
This happened in 1998.
1998, almost 10.
Yeah, this is over 12 years ago.
12 years
Yeah,
ago.
and so what happened is that I followed his lead. He showed me around, and then he finally said, "You're on your own." It's like, you know, you need to use your gift of gab, personality, and then I started networking with casting directors, producers, and directors. And now I have a pretty good name in the business, so when calling upon a casting director and submitting a client, they readily pick up the phone and say, "Please, Bob, send him in. We'd like to look at this person, have him read for us." And that was the beginning of my new life.
The beginning of new life. Usually casting director, they're calling to the manager or they're calling to agents. How are you working? You're working straight to casting director or agent? How that's the cooperation going between manager, agent, and casting director?
Well, great question. Management and agency morphed and changed itself a few years ago. Before, like you said, agents were the master and basically the submissions to casting directors, and managers would deal with the higher echelon actors that were too busy to take care of the bookkeeping, the direction, their concierge. And now it's come to the fact that agents and managers are now basically equal. In the state of California, we went to court to the state and we won our case that we have the same representation as a agent. And so now I submit like an agent does, and then we piggyback. So if you're an agent, I'll discuss with you about the client, and then he'll discuss with me and say, did you or did you not submit for this client? So now we work hand in hand on the same level.
Oh, so now if I have an agent or I have a manager, that's the same thing, I have an agent.
Right.
So, but usually casting director sending the information to the agent or sending to the managers
Well, okay, it's not
for
the,
coming soon projects.
correct. Well, where we get our information from is it's called breakdown services, or you get it from directly from the producers, and the casting directors will then call and say, Bob, I need you to send me such and such looking kind of clientele that you have for any particular TV shows. But typically it's through a breakdown service. It gives you a resume of what they're looking for. They give you a profile of what the person looks like, maybe Armenian, dark-haired, beard, blonde, blue-eyed, surfer, depending what they're looking for. Then, of course, you look through your roster and go, okay, I have someone that looks like this. And then you email them, and then hopefully they'll...
You're emailing them resume, their pictures, and usually how often our actor or model have to change their photos, headshot or Z cards? How often that's?
I would say on a yearly aspect. I mean, because you don't really change within a year. I mean, unless you do a drastic change of hairstyle or color, yes. You do not want to show up to a casting director's office with blue hair when your headshot was brown. Or if you've gone gray and it was brown and now it's gray, you need to update your look. I mean, whatever you do, transform your face, you want to make sure you're up in the now, because it's too embarrassing if you show up and you don't look like your headshots.
Exactly, that's right. But Robert, you working most with actors or models? What kind of talent you looking? Any kind of, or just most of you specified for actors and models?
We represent, we have two different divisions. InfinityManagement.biz is our actors, and then we have InfinityModelManagement.com is our models. So we represent both, because it's a two different aspect of the business. One's Hollywood, and one's more New York, Paris, glamour, runway, and photos.
Fashion.
Right.
And, but I remember a couple of months ago we have some conversation. You say you have some artists who performing in Las Vegas.
Right.
There are dancers.
Correct.
There was dancers.
Yeah, there's dancers. We have Sagiv Sagiv Benjamin, my mistake, pardon me. He's working now with Cher in Las Vegas.
Cher,
on the
Las
show.
Vegas,
correct.
okay.
And he's doing the acrobatic kind of work, almost like a Cirque du Soleil kind of acrobatic work in that regards.
And Rafi, Robert, why am I always calling you Rafi?
Well, Yafi's my last name.
Yafi,
So that's okay.
okay.
I'm part Armenian, that's why.
Yeah, okay. Robert, how many artists able you manage? Like one manager, or you have a management company, how many people working for your management company? That's the first question. And second one, I want to ask you again now, if you by yourself manager, how many artists you able to manage?
All right, myself, I have myself and an assistant, and I have a total of 37 actors.
37 actors.
37, and then in the same token, on the modeling side, we have 15.
Let's say two beautiful models, 6 foot tall, beautiful, gorgeous, blonde. You have to pick one. What you looking with models? What make you say, no, I want her, not her? But they're both beautiful and gorgeous.
You know, it's all about the timing and what is going on. So in other words, you for instance, with modeling, we have to keep up to date with the trend. What is going on? Are they looking for, like you said, a blonde, brunette?
My question, let's say both blonde, both look same, white.
Why would I pick one over the other?
Yeah.
I would say, okay, duplication, I'd say personality.
Personality.
Very much.
So,
if they're equal, I want a personality that I can work with and talk to. I don't want to deal with a prima donna.
okay, so basically, be model. That's not only where you there have to have some kind of talent and personality.
Oh yeah, by all means.
Okay, and
Well-rounded, very well-rounded.
yeah, and I know you was a judge for World Championships of Performing Arts, and from your opinion, why talent artists, they need a competition, and if they go to the World Championships of Performing Arts competition, what they can get, and when you're going there, what you're looking there.
Perfect question. I mean, I think the World Champion of Performing Arts is an amazing tool to expose one's ability to act, model, or to sing or dance to all these people in one night of this great event, to sit there and say, take a look at my work and get signed. I mean,
Otherwise, say artists have to sell themselves.
Correct.
I mean, their talent.
yeah, and the whole understanding of what you're saying here, and I just want to explain to the people
Yes.
watching, very important that you just brought up the fact that you have, let's say, any particular TV show, you might have 5 characters. When they're submitting, when they say we were looking for blonde, blue-eyed, or whatever color hair, you remember that there's 5,000 to 8,000 people submitting for that one character role, just that one character role. 1 out of 8,000. A casting director is not going to take the time to look at 8,000 submissions. They're going to go on recommendation and who they know. So here's a perfect example. The World Championship of Performing Arts. You're right there. You're thrusted in front of all these professionals saying, look at me, that they would never have seen these people. And that's why it's so wonderful. You can be from around the world and come here and they're like, wow, you're amazing. Oh my God, you're untapped knowledge. Please, I want to sign you. And it happens all the time here.
And how are you signing? When you're signing the contract, that's have to, like 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. Let's talk a little bit about expenses. Let's say I'm artist, you pick me, and what's then? Let's say you see me in the World Championships of Performing Arts. I'm a beautiful model or talented actor.
Or a handsome man.
Awesome, man. You telling, okay, I like you, I like your resume, and you're performing, I'm signing you. So let's start from there.
Okay, it works 2 ways. Okay, I have them sign a contract. It's for my liability that I get paid. I usually have a minimum of 3 years, and I get 15% as a manager. Agents get 10%. With that, I'm having them sign this covenant that if they do receive any kind of work, I get 15% off the top. They have to pay for their own, their own headshots, their own photography work. So once we sign up and say, here's a photographer that I like to use, or go to your own photographer and get some headshots made. That's out of the actor or the model's expense. That's not
Thank
mine.
you very much. I'm sorry. Just you tell me now, you can go to your photographer or I'm recommend some other
Sure.
photographer. My experience, 10 years experience in Hollywood manager agent experiences, what I have, when I go to the other agent, they say, oh, I don't like these headshots. I recommend go this photographer. Okay, I go there, and a couple of months later, I'm going with this photo to the other agent or manager. They say, oh, I don't like. I say, oh, this is circulation, some kind of business. Where's the honest part? That's when you tell me that's fantastic and great. If you have a good photographer, go there.
Right.
If not, I'm recommend there.
Right, okay, yeah, exactly. It's a very good point. Because typically, it's in the modeling division and then also in the actors division. When you're signing with a particular agent or a manager, we have a certain look that we're looking for. So like, for instance, right now, we're talking about the TV show True Blood. I mean, here they want a little more dark kind of looking characters. So I would have my clients right now, if they have a certain look, I want them to have that kind of eerie look. So when I do submit a headshot, it's like, wow, this guy fits so perfectly, because the understanding, remember the season changes every year.
Yeah.
So when a casting director does not have the time to look over every headshot, you want somebody that's going to catch your eye and like, wow, this guy would be perfect for the show. Because right now we're in the middle of pilot season. Pilot season right now, they're going to be doing all their work.
What does mean pilot season? I know, but I want that our viewers understand.
Sure.
What is pilot season?
Pilot season right now starts between usually the typical months of January all the way to April. And what this means, these are pilots that, we'll say, him and I are the producers of a particular TV show. It refers only to TV, not for film. That we came out with a whole new idea, new TV show, and we now submit this to the network.
Pilot for TVs only?
For TVs only,
okay.
Right. Yeah, totally different from film. And then we get our idea, we pick our different characters that we want, and then it's a game. Now we're playing the game of chess. We're the producers, we're the casting director, we say, do you understand what we're looking for? So eye to eye, you have to make sure everything works out well, and then all of a sudden the actors come on the set, everything works great, then the network steps in and says, well, I don't like this guy's look or attitude. So all of a sudden you have to reshuffle again, and then it's like, okay, you go to the breakdown, submit, we're looking for this particular character. So it's very multi-leveled, and then finally when you get everyone together, now you shoot this pilot, you sell it to the network, and the network will say, all right, we'll take 6 episodes, and you could make $25,000 a show. And typically a show is done in approximately from Tuesday to Friday. So that would be the time they start doing the practicing, a roundtable discussion, reading the script, and then the final shoot would be Thursday and Friday. So imagine if you make it in Hollywood on a TV show, you can start off typically with 25 grand a week for a pilot, and then once it's bought by the network, sky's the limit. I mean, Friends TV show, they start off very low, and they ended up with $1 million a week.
Wow, $1 million a week, wow. Can you manage me?
Yes.
I will make $1 million a week. Robert, I just checked, read about your, let's say, background. You've done so many TV shows here. So can you talk about a little bit about this project, what you've done, and how this works?
Sure. So recently, to bring to mind would be True Blood. Okay, we had our client on True Blood. We've had clients on the show called Community. And then also, we just finished, one of our clients did a deal with Adam Sandler with My Pretend Wife. And so this is just now, we're talking about in the past, so many other TV shows have been out there that our clients have been on. It's a working business, it's a fun business, and it's a struggling business. I mean, remember, I can only reiterate the same factor that imagine 8,000 people a day submit for one particular character.
And it's from around the all agent and management.
Correct.
So that means all agents and manager have the same information, and they're sending for same audition all the artists, all the...
Right, and also just regular actors that are out there submitting themselves. And I just want to bring up a key issue. Hollywood, and the way it works, it's like a game of chess. In other words, when you're dealing with a casting director and someone submits directly, don't get me wrong, yes, you could be possibly, they'll pick up that headshot and go, oh my God, you're perfect. Get this person in here with no representation. You don't always need representation. It gives you a better par to have representation because it's called credibility. Because if I'm representing you and I submit and I have a good rapport with a casting director, they're more apt to sit there and say, have him come in and read for me. Bob, I trust you, you know what you're doing, and this guy's not going to waste my time. Versus someone just submitting headshots, they don't know who this person is, and they're not going to take the time typically to say, all right, let them in, because we don't care. They're on a time schedule. TV is so fast that it has to be done right now and shot tomorrow.
Rafi, I have some question before I ask you another question.
Go ahead.
Where do you cut your hair?
Where do you cut my hair? I had a friend of mine cut my hair. He just came over and did my hair.
Okay.
But I need to get a place to do a nice professional job.
Okay, nice professional job. Hollywood Hair Studio.
Oh,
That's a gift certificate for you from Hollywood Hair Studio.
Wow.
Their viewers, Hollywood Hair Studio, which locating in 5300 Hollywood Boulevard. Go there, get a Hollywood style and a Hollywood big smile after when they cut your hair.
Well, that's an honor.
Hollywood Hair Studio. Go there anytime. anytime. Just everybody can say hollywood101 TV and they'll get a special offer, so discounts. So that's gift for you.
Thank you so much.
Anytime be there. So
Great.
okay. And by the way, selling 48 liquor license for nightclub. If somebody interested to have their own nightclub, welcome. I help you find your 48 liquor license. So that's the other thing. And my second question, usually for pictures, for actors, they need just only one headshot, or they need a different pose, different clothes? How that's...
That's a good question. Yeah, I recommend, like you said, the more the merrier, because when you get your headshots, everything is now done electronically. Hard copies are almost a thing of the past. So with digital cameras, and you get a photographer who does a good job, I like to see the entire disc, and so I can pick and choose. Again, if I'm submitting for someone with stubble on their face and you're clean shaven, it's very hard for a casting director to visualize, oh, what would this guy look like with a scruffy face? I say carry the whole gambit. If you have a rustic look like yourself, very masculine, the scruff, clean shaven, suit and tie, casual. This way I can submit for so many different parts for TV. Same way with film. It's the same example.
You specified for more TV or for film too?
Hey, I'll submit for all, film and television, everything. And then there's also commercial. Remember, now you have commercials. 30-second commercial. If you do a national commercial, you could pull in around $60,000 to $80,000
Wow.
for a 1 hour commercial. Because it takes 1 hour.
I remember that sweet time. I
Yes.
got a Pepsi Cola commercial.
Yes. Tell your audience about that. I mean, that's national commercial. You made very good money. And remember that residual check keeps coming in every month, and it
I remember
pays your
that was
bills.
sweet time.
Yeah. And then, you have regional commercials, you have buyouts. I mean, there's so many different avenues. And that's a whole different gambit. Typically, a commercial print shot, they want more smiles because you're selling a product. They don't want anybody serious, frowning. It's all a happy smile, and, because they want to see what can you do to sell my product.
Robert, when you find some talent in World Championships of Performing Arts and they're living overseas, how you work with them, and you really like that him or her, model or actor, and how you working with them, and because they have a temporary visa and they're living overseas, how they possible cooperate with them?
So, all right, another good question with the visa status here in the United States. It's tough, but it's not tough. It depends on how you play it. We recommend, I work with a gentleman named Ken Bird, who's my attorney I work with. He's a private entity, and he takes care of all our visas, our O1, H1 visas. And they're easy to get if you do your homework outside the U.S. Because dealing with an O1 visa, that is the highest visa you can get, and usually that's 2, 3, 4, up to 6 years that you can come in the U.S. and work, no problem at all. And it's all about establish yourself outside the country. So if you're from Armenia, you want to get yourself established in your country there on television, film, plays, and have a rapport, have video, you want to have any kind of newsletters, documents, certificates.
Let's say they're young artists, they're not really popular in their country, but they have a really good talent and really good look, and they came to the United States for World Championships of
Right.
Performing Arts, but they don't have any experience in back. They don't have any magazine, they don't have any CDs. Is it possible to work with these people?
No, not really. I mean, the problem is with our visas and our laws, you have to have a working visa. And so that's the only problem. Now, there is a recommendation. You can get yourself a J1 visa. It's a student visa, but working in the industry. And there, if you're in the film business, there are schools that will give you a J1 visa, and it gives you the ability to work as well. So you can work within the circumference of the film industry. So that you'd have to be a full-time student, and then you could do work within the film industry. Otherwise, an O1 visa, you need to get established outside the U.S., anywhere, come here and say, I want to come into your market, and then I want to make something of myself.
Why I'm asking this question, because we have so many Armenian talented professional actors. They're very famous back in the country, and they're very famous here for Armenian community. But only one problem, they don't speak really very well English. That's possible that can get some kind of job in industry, like you manager, I'm sending you some professional actor, he's whole the famous in Armenian, but they can say some line. They speak English, but not very well. The possible work with that kind of people?
Anything's possible. I mean, it depends on the script. I mean, if the script, say, is about the war, you know, we'll say...
a taxi driver, Armenian.
Yeah, I mean, if you do it that, I mean, you know, you could do a period piece, you know, in Armenia with any kind of problems there with the Kurds. I mean, they don't want to have American people. They want to have people that are from Armenia that have the accent and speak it. I mean, someone could be trained to speak a certain language. And then, you know, if it's a feature film, imagine the possibilities. I mean, you could sit there and take that person for 2 months and say, we're going to train you to understand English. So when the director says action, you know what to do. And you could speak, you know, the Armenian language and then move on. And definitely you could be discovered and then finally build upon your language. I mean, I recommend, you know, English seems to be the world language, the second language.
Yes.
Say. So it's always, I would say, imperative to learn that so you can follow direction in Hollywood. But of course, if I go to Armenia, then I have to take the time to learn Armenia before I go there so I can understand their culture and understand to speak their language.
The possible that somebody walk to you, this is my headshot, that's me, I'm actor or I'm model, I want you manage me. The possibility of that, and for management you charging, not you, maybe general management, they're charging beginning money, or they're just sign a contract and then have a commission when they get a job?
I'm glad you brought that up. Typically, your legitimate agents and managers, we work on commission only. There is no upfront fees.
If you have an agent and manager, they're asking you beginning money for their service, don't go. My experience and professional here, he's saying same thing. Manager and agent always have their money when you can get a job,
Correct.
10 or 15%. So that's what it is.
Yeah, very much. I'm glad you brought that up. Yeah.
Yeah, because I know a lot of people going, oh, my manager, my agent asked me $300 for a whole year services, and
No.
what the hell? Why they need it? They don't give you job yet. Why you need that?
It's based on commission only. That's it. Now, if you deal with a publicist, that's a whole different ballgame. You will pay a publicist up front to say, invite me to some major parties, get me out there.
Yeah, that's completely different.
Right, totally different. But yeah, if a manager,
agent,
no,
you don't
not
have
at
to
all.
pay.
No,
okay.
no.
But sometimes they're asking for internet or website pictures.
I don't charge my clients for any of that.
Okay, that's
I mean,
perfect.
it all should be upfront. I mean, if they are going to charge you, that's a prerogative. But I don't know many agents and managers that do that. I mean,
professionals not doing.
No.
The professional agent or manager, if they feel they can give a job to the talent, artist.
Right,
yes.
because when I'm looking for an actor, we'll say, I'm looking for an asset. I'm looking like, wow, I'm going to make some money off this person. So I'm not going to bleed you for your money. I'm looking at you going, you're an investment. I'm going to take the time and say, I'm going to make you a star.
Your name, your website, if they are interested, have manager that should contact with you.
Yeah, please submit.
If you don't mind,
No.
try, because I'm some kind of trying to help Armenians and non-Armenians find a true how start their international or Hollywood career.
Can I make one?
Yeah, sure.
Look at my website, and you want to send your information by email, talent@infinitymanagement.biz, and please send of course, your headshot and your resume, and then that way I'll look at it. And it'd be wonderful. I think it'd be wonderful to have a whole bunch of people from Armenia or the Armenian community submit, and let's make you a star.
I see here. We make stars shine.
That's right.
Thank you very much, Rafi.
Thank you.
Robert, thank you very much for coming. Again, our sponsor was Hollywood Hair Studio, 5300 Hollywood Boulevard.
You can't stop in avalanches, it races down the hill. You can try to stop the seasons, girl, but you know you never will. And you could try to stop my dancing feet, but I just cannot stand still. 'Cause the world keeps spinning round.
can't stop my happiness, 'cause I like the way I am. And you just can't stop my knife and fork when I see a Christmas ham. So if you don't like the way I look, well, I just don't give a damn. 'Cause the world keeps spinning round and round, and my heart's keeping time to the speed of sound. I was lost till I heard the drums, till I found my way. 'Cause you can't stop the beat. Ever since this old world began, a woman found out if she shook, she could shake up a man. And so I'm gonna shake and shake.